This is the Geneva Shore Report coming to you from Nietzsche Coffee Shop about 5 miles to the west of downtown Lake Geneva on this kind of wonderful fall day. Or is it spring? I don't know. I look out there and it's kind of dismal. But anyway, we are in here and we are here to talk to John Halverson, who's running for the 2nd District Council post. And I wanted to say personally, having watched John now through his publishing career and then as a city council person, he's done a more than creditable job as a city councilor. We have agreed with him about 80% of what he's done, and the other 20% he's had a good reason for doing what he did, in spite of the fact that he had such great advice from us. Anyway, he's been great, and we're excited to be able to have this presentation with him. And I am here on.
It is Wednesday afternoon, March 24th, 2021. I'm Lisa Otto.
I'm John Halverson.
John Luphouse.
And George Belushi Jr.
And the Geneva Shore Report. But more importantly, we are here at the niche to talk with John Halverson. Hello, John. Okay, he is the incumbent that is running for Alderperson, District 2, Lake Geneva. So we're excited that he is running again. And so a little bit about your background, John, and how did you go from where you were to city politics, and what's encouraging you to stay in city politics?
Well, I've been a journalist for 44 years, or no, I was a journalist, and that's the start of it. I was an only child who grew up 2 blocks from Lake Michigan. My dad died when I was 6. We don't want to go back to the womb, do we?
No.
I think we just did.
Right next to Lake
That's a poignant story, no, and it's very germane.
Well, it's germane because I always wanted to live in a town with a great lake. And it took me a long time, 15 years, to find it. But, I fell in love with Lake Geneva when I got here.
All right. Well, yeah, loving the area that you are advocating for is a big deal and very important. So, how do you go from the newspaper business to city politics?
Well, I retired and I was bored.
And I'm sure you knew a lot about city politics being a journalist in Lake Geneva.
I think that gives me an advantage. I see things. I tend to see things as a journalist does. I enter every meeting with a clear head, and sometimes that's dangerous because you get people talk at the meeting and influence you, and you have a couple seconds to make a decision. And in most cases, it doesn't make any difference because the decisions are unanimous. But on important issues, I go home sometimes wondering if I made the right call.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at times. Okay, so you've been Alderperson for District 2 for your first run. And
4 years.
4 years, okay. Well, forgive me, I'm sorry. And now you're running again.
Right.
So, do you plan on making this a future for long term besides the next 2 years?
I'm going to run for president after
You
that.
are?
Well, you're president of the council anyway, right? You are president. Yeah, you were.
I'd like to remain a city councilman for as long as I can, although I thought I'd never retire as editor. I thought I'd from that position, but I did, so who knows?
All right. Okay, well, we're excited that you're running again.
You've been a councilman for some really interesting stuff that's gone on, Hillmore being one of them, and you voted on that. How did you keep up? We had a heck of a time as a newspaper just trying to figure out the blizzard of paperwork, and we're even having trouble now with the current lawsuit with trying to figure out the sense of it, because when we read the suit, it doesn't seem to make sense, and yet they're driving this, and you have to be our guardian in the community to shield us. How do you stay up? I mean, every week you guys get about an inch of stuff.
I don't stay up with it. I know it. I know who they are, and I can't talk too much about it.
No.
It's somebody else's property.
Yeah, well, I understand that too, but it's you've made a lot of decisions along the way that have affected that property, and we appreciate some of those decisions, by the way. But I wondered, because when we get the packet just after you do. It is really hard sometimes and we're at every meeting. We're lockstep with this like you are. How do you keep up?
Well, it's just a matter of trying. I don't know that I read every word of every piece of paper that's handed to me. I tend to be more of a big picture person, and that makes it a little easier because I'm not terribly detail oriented. I think some subjects are made too hard, and if you dive into the legal aspects of it, it'll drive you crazy.
Well, I think you're working with maybe the best counsel that we've experienced in our 11 years of covering the councils. This seems to be a very right-headed kind of council that considers a lot. And we've been with councils that it was like pre-done before everybody got there. And also, it's been a time where a lot more people have come to the council to visit and talk and everything else. You find that helpful, that if you get a lot of people there?
Absolutely. And people think that showing up doesn't matter, but it does. I mean, the other night we had the issue of possibly making a paid parking for a larger area. And I think it would have died anyway, but certainly the crowd showing up influenced people.
Yeah, well, we watched Hedlund basically retreat and take back. He did a good job of what many politicians should do today, saying, I think that's a wrong direction I was heading us in. Yeah, and that's good. Anyway, what a pleasure. I was going to say one thing. Do you have any kind of vision that you would like to express about what you might want to see Lake Geneva go, the direction?
Well, frankly, I think I wish I could be called a vision person, but I think I'm more of a person who reviews the concepts. I don't want to tear apart the city. I love that we have a community that has different aspects to it, but I think for the most part we have a great city here. And this is, if I can read from
please do.
My campaign stuff. When I initially ran, I said, all I can promise is I'll approach each issue thoughtfully, fairly, and with the belief everyone's opinion matters. And I think I've accomplished that.
Well, you have, as far as we're concerned anyway. Up till now. And then you make a bad decision and we'll write really rotten things about you, right? Anyway, we are here on...
It is Wednesday afternoon and we are here at the Niche. I'm Lisa Otto.
I'm John Halverson.
And George Belushi Jr. Thanks for listening in. It was fun to talk to John and to be a part of this. And that's the rest of the story.